So, the sarcastic speech of Yama of death has begun. Yeah, and he will continue. No amount of counter argument by Savitri is going to stop him. See, but this fellow is a good poet also. He knows English language very well. He knows how to enunciate words, how to construct rhymes properly, and all that. And that is what we have here in the sentence. It is a passion of the yearning self. It is flesh that calls the flesh to serve its lust. It is the mind that seeks an answering mind and dreams a while that it has found its mate. It is the life that asks a human prop to uphold its weakness lowly in the world, or feeds its hunger on another's life. Now the argument which is building up is in a way graduated, in the sense that first he brings all the emotional, human, passion aspects, the vital aspects. Then he will bring reason, mind, all those kind of things. Then the occult will start operating. So like that, the whole development of this canto and the next canto are kind of graduated one above the skill. So what we are now going to see here is the vital aspect of life on which he is basing his judgment, his argument. We have seen last time already that he has not watched Savitri doing her yoga. He was calling her, "You slave of nature, you are bound by passion, life's emotions, life's instincts, and you are talking of great things." Forget that. Forget it. All your craving is based entirely upon life, upon vital instincts, the human nature, particularly the aspect of a woman for her lover. It is on that basis you are arguing everything. So that has no value at all, according to him. It is a passion of the yearning cells. Well, it is your body's cells which are demanding your lover. There is no true love at all. Where is the true love? It is the physical aspect, the body which is demanding love for you. It is a flesh that calls to flesh to serve its lust. See, purely emotional passion, vital aspects is presenting here. It is the mind that seeks an answering mind and dreams a while that it has found its mate. So everything is connected with passion, cells, physical. See, here of course he is using the word cells. He is not using glands, which are excited in the physical experience. So it is not that. It is flesh that calls to flesh to serve its lust. That is what you are done. That is what you call love. That is your love. It is the mind that seeks an answering mind and dreams a while that it has found its mate. Even when you are in the company of your living mate, what is that you are really seeing? It is only on the surface thing which is happening. You are not really gone into the depth and seeing the identity with him. It is your flesh, your mind. It is that your dreams about your lover. It is that kind of an identity you are seeing everywhere. There is no true love at all. In fact, there is none. In the vital world, there is none. You eat upon each other's vitals. That is what you call love. And you live, survive on that, you see. Now, see how the whole poetry is there. It is a passion of thy yearning cells. It starts with it is. short, called a Pyrrhic. A passion, I am, of, again, a Pyrrhic, short, the yearning self. So the whole thing is short, long, short. So it is as if, building up from low to up like that. It is a passion of the yearning cells. That is how you will read it, you see. It is flesh. Now, see, this line begins with a Pyrrhic. It is a passion and goes into an am and again a Pyrrhic. This line begins, it is flesh, short, long. It is flesh that calls to flesh to serve is lust. See, the variations in the meter is very significant here. It starts with it is a Pyrrhic and I am, again a Pyrrhic of the passion of thy yearning. Again I am, again an I am here. But here what we have got, it is flesh, starts with an anapest, short, long is an anapest, that calls to flesh to serve is lust. See, we won. It goes on in that manner, see. T-tum, see, it goes on. See. Meter, see. Here it is T-tum. Here it is T-tum, again T. So there is a modulation of voice. And that continues. See, if it were not like that, then it would have become very monotonous and it would not have that force. Then again here, it is the mind that sees. You see, all these three sentences are starting with it is, but they are used in different ways in three lines. Here it is used as a Pyrrhic, here it is used as an anapest, here it is used again as a Pyrrhic. It is the mind that sees an answering mind. Answering. That is an I am, swearing mind and anapest. So there is a constant modulation of speech. And it is that which gives a kind of a poetic charm to Savitri's verses. It does not remain the same throughout. Constant modulation of rhythm is important. So this fellow has learned a lot of good English in Cambridge and he knows how to modulate the phrases and verses, you see. It is the mind that seeks an answering mind and dreams the while that it has found is made. Again, that is. So all these four lines, you see, constantly the rhythm is built upon variation of metrical units. You see. And dreams the while that it has found is made. It is the life that asks a human prop. Again here, it is the life. You have got four, it is. Now that monotony of it is as a Pyrrhic is removed here by an anapest. It is flesh. Earlier it is a passion. It is a flesh. It is the mind. It is the life. And dreams a while that it has found is made. It is the life that asks a human prop to uphold its weakness lowly in the world, to uphold, see this again, variation in meter, to uphold, that is short, long, anapest. Yeah. Its weakness is an I am. Ness lone, again an I am. And here again, empiric, the world, again I am. So there is a constant variation of the feet. To oppose this weakness slowly in the world or feeds its hunger on another's life. Yes, this is exactly what happens in the human life. You are really eating upon each other. There is really no love. People call my love, my beloved, etc., etc., but actually you are consuming each other. Hunger on another's life, that is the vital nature. In fact, it is not only in terms of man and woman, it is also between man and man, between woman and woman, my family members, my household. They live upon each other's vital support. They need as if that kind of vital support to survive and live, you see. Is there, always there. And therefore, we are really preying upon each other. We are eating each other in the family also. There is a bit of an element, there is an element of some psychic touch, psychic relationship in the family. But mostly it is governed by the vital exchanges. You live upon, you want consolation. What do you mean that consolation? You are really drawing upon his vital. You are in a miserable state and you want to meet friend or some family member or son, daughter, wife, whatever it is. For what? Because you are drawing upon their vital constantly. And you don't know that you are really causing harm to other also in that process. It's not that you are enjoying, you are surviving, you are causing harm to others also. That's the danger. Hunger on another's life, and therefore a beast of prey that pauses in its prowl. Hunger on another's life, and therefore a beast of prey that pauses in its prowl. It is a tiger eating a lion, a tiger eating a deer or whatever you see. It happens like that. But the beauty is a beast of prey that pauses in its prowl. It crouches under a bush in splendid flower. So the whole beautiful jungle is there, forest is there, and it's flowery and shrubs and all that. And it will hide behind the shrub there. It will be very fragrant, very sweet and all that kind of a thing. For what? To seize a heart and body for its food. A person, a traveler or an animal, unaware of his presence, is going there unconsciously. But this man, this beast, is waiting there to pounce upon you, to make you its food, you see. To seize a heart and body for its food, you see. To seize a heart and body for its food. See, that dip, to seize a heart and body for. There is a little dip there, so as if it's going to pounce now. See, he is lunging upon pouncing for its food. This beast thou dreams immortal and a god. So he is really utilizing the vital argument very powerfully. What he is saying is true in human life. It's not wrong. This beast thou dreams immortal and a god. See, this beast again I am, thou dreams, and I am immortal, and I am till and a god. Again, I am. O human mind, vainly thou torturest and ask delight to stretch through infinity's long void and fill its formless, passionless curve. That is what you are trying to do. Your passionate love, it is that you want to stretch to infinity and fill the gulfs, persuading the insensible abyss, to lend eternity to perishing thing. With this human passion, with these vital instincts, you want to persuade infinity that please come here and fill my abyss, my life, you see. Forget what I'm talking about, you see. And lend eternity to perishing thing and trickst the fragile movements of thy heart. So you are really deceiving yourself by tricking. With thy spirit's fent of immortality. All here. Why? Now he is giving me the basis of his argument. All here emerges born from nothingness. Everything has come from it. You are talking about spirit, God, etc., etc. Where is all that? It has come from the void. Everything has come. So there is no substance in it at all. Encircled, it lasts by the emptiness of space. A while upheld by an unknowing foe, then crumbles back into its parent knot. So all this paraphernalia which you build, all this structure you have constructed, all the scaffolding of life which is there, it has been built upon nothingness. It's there for a while, but then again it crumbles and goes back into nothingness. Its parent knot. It came from nothingness, it goes back to nothingness. Only the mute alone can ever be. Only the mute alone can ever be. See, now you see the lines. The difference, in this line. All here emerges bound to nothingness. See, these are all packed lines, metaphysical language lines with tremendous force in them. All here emerges bound to nothingness, encircled at last by the emptiness of space, a while upheld by an unknowing force. Yeah, the structure, the scaffolding is upheld by some force about which you have no knowledge. For what? For a certain purpose perhaps. But then again, it crumbles back into its parent knot. Yeah. Only, and then what remains when it has crumbled? All that is, only the mute alone can ever be. So his conclusion is, what remains finally is only the mute. He is alone. Everything then finally collapses. The mute, he alone remains. Everything collapses into nothingness. It came from nothingness, it goes back to nothingness. And then what remains? Only the mute. It does not speak, it is dumb. He alone remains there. Means nothing comes up from that at all. In the alone, there is no room for love. What a cruel sentence. What a cruel sentence, you see. In the alone, there is no room for love. Now, these two lines are tremendous lines. See, just listen again and again to yourself. You speak aloud, read aloud. Only the mute alone can ever be. Only the mute alone can ever be. Only the mute alone can ever be. It has a kind of a wideness of rhythm. Something is coming from here, uttering something, going again to something. Only the mute alone can ever be.
But alone, how can it be there is no room for love? He is the incarnate of
We'll see that. What I'm saying is, this line, only, forget about what is all that, forget about what the meaning, etc. is that. Just see the sound and the effect of the rhythm first. The rhythm is, only the mute alone can ever be. He is uttering mantra. This fellow is a rishi. Although he is criticizing, he is using a very skeptical language, very sarcastic language, yet sometimes he utters a mantra. See? Only the mute alone can ever be. And he is prolonging that mantra by saying, in the alone there is no room for love. Now you can see this line is also a very powerful line. In the alone there is no room for love. But it is not that mantric as only the mute alone can ever be. You see the difference between the two lines? Only the mute alone can ever be. In the alone, there is no room for love. See, it doesn't sound that powerful as the earlier line, you see. So, this is really mantric line. Only the mute alone can ever be. That is as far as the rhythm is concerned, as far as the poetry is concerned, as far as the inspiration is concerned. Now, from the point of view of revelation, what is he trying to say in this mantra? What is he trying to say in this mantra? Now, there are a number of issues here involved. How does it read in French, this line? Only the mute alone can ever be. Yeah. It doesn't give that. Does it give?
Why not? Because you don't feel the French.
The sound is not there.
Sounds little, yeah.
But the meaning is there.
Meaning is there, all right, yeah.
Meaning is there, but not mantra.
Now, here we are talking purely of the sound and rhythm and the power of utterance. Forget about substance, forget about meaning, forget about words. Only the mute alone can ever be. See, when you are singing Indian classical music, you say something, you utter a word, and ultimately what remains is only the pure tone. What remains only the pure tone. The words are gone, substance has gone, meaning has gone, everything is gone. Only the pure tone remains, you see. So it is that which is forming kind of a mantric power. That's the power of the language. So this fellow has got this line straight from our mind. See, he does not know it, but he got it from our mind. You see, only the mute alone can ever be. Now, here you have got M capital, and here you have got A capital. What our dear friends have done is they have made M small and A big. Does he put mute capital in French?
No,
Aim small, aim
French.
We
French, he didn't put mute capital, he put alone.
hello, A capital means he is going by that text.
Yes, it's another.
It's
He is going by that.
pronunciation. But I understand here the alone adjective.
Yeah.
It's a mute who is the noun.
Yeah.
And down.
Now it's an adjective.
Noun is a noun.
It's a noun. Alone is a noun and mute has become an adjective in your conversion.
The mute is adjective here?
No. What you have made is an adjective. You have changed this mute as a noun into an adjective. Now you see, if you now you read again, only the mute alone. See?
They copied it from the alone below.
Yeah. If you read with that, again that mantric effect is totally gone.
Totally gone.
Only the mute alone can ever be. The force has to come on mute.
This will be while translating from one language to another.
Yeah,
And
it is.
that meter also will change.
Well, the meter, that depends upon the language. But
What a mistake. How can they do this?
that is why it is very difficult to translate mantric poetry into another language.
No, but this is not mantric, capital in
This line is absolutely mantric. Only the mute low. This is not. That is not.
How did they make it
They are removed mantra.
No, but if he has mute in the original and alone small and mute capital, how can that change it?
Yeah, but we'll see just a minute. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. See, what I'm trying to say is this one. My dear old friend, Udar, he goes all around here and there and says, what the revised edition has done is to restore the mantra of Savitri. The mantra of Udar Pinto.
73 has restored the mantric Savitri.
He says the revised edition has restored the mantra. By correction, by revisions, what was spoiled by these people has been restored as a mantra. But here is an example in which the mantra has been smashed, has been killed completely. He has given a talk in Auroville itself, Udar.
Really? About this?
Yes, on this. Yeah. See, that is how. So don't trust what people say. Go by your own instinct, by your own inner perceptions. You see. Only the mute alone can ever be. So, mute has become small, A has become big, and it has managed to destroy the mantra.
But what to say, no? Capital letter doesn't change the mantric effect.
No, the way you enunciate it. Yeah, the way you enunciate it, you see, the mantra is in the sound.
Yes, so we wait according to the capital.
Yeah. Now, this mute alone and this alone, this A is capital here. Now, obviously, in the alone, who is alone? The mute. This alone here is the mute.
Yeah, it's obvious.
Obviously, you see. So, actually, therefore, there are two different things. Now, what my very respectable, dear friend Amal has done in 1972, the centenary edition is, he has changed M to small m and made this A big. This, he has done it, it's there in the,
Under what pretext?
that we see.
What is the explanation?
He has done it in 1972. Perhaps his argument was, look, here it is A capital. How can A be small here?
Oh. But would not have thought about it.
But they are two different alones. He corrected Shivandu many times in many places. Not only he has corrected, he says Shivandu has made slips, Shivandu has forgotten his own philosophy. Well, he has said many things like that, you see. So don't trust Udar or Amal or anybody, even Deshpande. Go entirely by your own instincts. Now, therefore, this mute has become small and A has become big in the revised edition as per the 1972 editing of Amal. Beyond that, there is no basis to change these two lines into what we have. He is the basis that has not been disclosed, that has not been given to us. He is the basis for change. But I think these are very powerful lines, very meaningful, very purposeful lines. See, in the very first line, it was the hour before the gods awake. Sri Aurobindo wrote something like 30-40 drafts of that line. In the 25th draft of that line, he made it was the hour before the gods, G, from small to capital G. All along before that, it was always small g, small g, small g. But in the 25th draft, suddenly you find that G has become capital G. It was the hour before the gods. In other words, Sri Aurobindo was paying special attention to every detail which had kind of a connection with his spiritual vision and spiritual realizations. Why small g has become capital G? Because he's talking of it was the hour before the gods. Who are these gods? Not the universal gods, not the overmind gods. They are the transcendental gods, the supramental gods. Before they came into action, before they got activated in the process of this creation, the transcendental powers, before they started operating, what was happening? It is that which is described in the first line. It was the hour before the gods awake. Yes, before the transcendental gods came into existence in terms of the powers of manifestation. What was happening? It is that is what is now described in capital G, not this overmind gods. So he is purposely, with meaning, with intention, is capitalizing or removing the capitalization at times. This mute must have some purpose in the same manner. It is not there for nothing. My feeling that Amal made this alone because he got deceived by this alone. Without realizing that this alone is nothing but this mute. It is a noun, it is a noun. You see, in one place this is an adjective, in the other place now he has made a noun. You see, assume for a minute that this mute is not there. Only the alone can ever be.
Especially now you repeat it 20 times, so
Yeah.
we are used to the mute.
Yeah. Can ever be. Of course, in that case, the line will be limping. It will be short of a foot, short of a half foot, you see. But that can be provided by some other method. You see. There's no difficulty about that. You see. The line can be reconstructed if you remove the mute. Mute is not to fulfill the metrical demands. That for the sake of meter, to make the line perfectly pentametric, you need an extra syllable. It is not that extra syllable which is being supplied by mute. Mute has its own purpose. I can supply that extra syllable by saying something. For instance, I can say, only the mute alone can ever be there. For the sake of meter, I'm saying. Only the alone can ever be there. Metrically, the demand is satisfied. But then you had taken away, robbed the line of its mantra. totally. Mute is the most just. It is irreplaceable. What is this line trying to convey? Only the mute alone can ever be. This line, from the point of view of substance, is a summary of these 4 lines. You see, he has put a colon here. What these 4 lines say, all here emerges bound from nothingness. Everything has come from the void. It will collapse, go back into the void. The void is hungry. Void is also the source of creation. And void is also the devourer of creation. So what remains finally? Only the void. The mute. The mute. What remains finally? Only the mute. Because everything has gone alone. And that mute is the nothingness, is the not, is the void. Only the mute. So for him, well, that is the source of everything. Mute, void. Everything has come up from that thing. So this is an argument from death, which is perfectly understandable. He says everything has come from the void, from the nothingness, it will collapse into the nothingness. What will remain then finally? The void alone. Void which is not expressing itself in any way. Therefore mute. So I will identify this mute with this nothingness, with this parent not. And it sounds very logical from the point of view of his argument. And therefore he has now disentangled from that previous description and summarizing in a single line sentence. In the alone, there is no room for love. There is no room. Alone, in that mute, in that void, in that nothingness, where is the room for love? You are talking of love. How can it exist in that nothingness? How can it exist for nothingness, you see? He is buttressing his argument by this powerful line again, in the alone. He was talking of here mute in the context of all these things. Here, what remains is alone, that nothingness alone, that void alone, that not alone. That's all. Therefore, in vain to clothe love's perishable mud. So that is our body, that is our fate, that is our perishable mud. In vain to clothe love's perishable mud. Thou hast woven on the immortal's borrowed loom the ideal's gorgeous and unfading robe. See, he is carrying his rhetoric very powerfully further. And see, again, you see the change of meter, variation. In vain to clothe love's perishable mud. In vain is an am. To clothe is an am. Short, long, short, long. Love's perishable. Love's both are strong syllables. Long, long. Spondy. Shable mud. Pyrrhic. So you have got here to clothe love's perishable mud. So as if the spondy is giving a force to the quality of mud, which is perishable. Means that spondy here in between emphasizes the poor quality of your existence. Very forcefully, you see. In vain to clothe love's perishable mud. You have got here 3 short syllables. Perishable, to, that is spirit, and able, mud. And again I am. In vain to clothe love's perishable mud, thou hast woven. Well, in fact, I should read this thing. Thou hast woven. Thou hast woven. It should be read like that. It's an anapest. Thou hast woven on. That is a peric, short, woven. See, the modulation is there constantly in the whole speech. So this, as I told you, this fellow has really learned the whole of his English in Cambridge. And he knows how to modulate it, you see. Thou hast woven the mortal's borrowed loom, the ideal's gorgeous and fading robe. The ideal never yet was real made. Yes, you are trying to weave a cloth on a perishable loom and all that thing. But how can the ideal become real? You are talking of in this creation, bringing down the ideal world here. Forget. It can never become real here, you see. So that is actually the entire summarization of Yama's character. He is the denier. All your great ideals, great thoughts, great spiritual objectives, they can never become real here. You want to bring down the powers of the spirit here in creation? Nonsense. Not possible. This is my argument. You cannot. Forget that. You change your philosophy, your mind. Imprisoned in form, that glory cannot live. That glory, the real. The real cannot live when it is imprisoned. That is of course true. So he is talking both, you see. That is of course true. Imprisoned in form, that glory cannot live. Into a body, shut, it breathes no more. When it is trapped in a body, that glory cannot breathe freely. Cannot breathe freely, you see. Intangible, remote, forever pure, so that real, etc., is always pure. A sovereign of its own brilliant void, unwillingly it descends to earthly air to inhabit a white temple in man's heart. In his heart, it shines, rejected by his life. It comes, but then finally what happens? Rejected by his life. Intangible, it is that glory, that ideal is intangible. It is very far away. It is always pure up there, but the moment it enters in the body, it loses its purity. A sovereign of its own brilliant void, because void, it is nothing there as far as concerned. Unwillingly it descends to earthly air. You are pulling it down. Well, it tries to come down also because you are pulling it down. To inhabit a white temple. See, to white temple, see, what a beautiful phrase, you see, white temple, most original. You have marble temples, you have got this temple, that temple, but white temple, no. To inhabit a white temple in man's heart. In his heart, it shines rejected by his life. In other words, his heart is not white enough. Is not white enough. Is not pure enough here. That is this tragedy of this glory. Because it remains rejected in life, that glory. The necessity is for that glory herself to take mortal birth. The divine goddess, she wanted to come to earth, but then she found that the place is not ready for her tread, for her to walk. She walked back. She walked back. She found that the place is not ready enough. It happened. She went back. When she found that the place is not ready, this is what I'm talking of, what we have in the symbol dawn, in the first canto, the first section. The divine glory wanted to come here and do miracles, this thing, that thing, and all that thing, but then she felt that perhaps I cannot do work here anymore. And she goes back. And then there was the common light of the earthly day. That is what we saw last time. The common light. She went back and there was only the common light of the earthly day. When there was only the common light, then it became necessary for Savitri to take the mortal birth. It became necessary for Savitri to take the mortal birth. And she heard a call from the Supreme. And she came back here. She came here. She plunged into this creation. A brilliant summoner's chant. She heard the brilliant summoner's chant. Summoner, he is giving her a call. The Supreme himself, Savitri, now the only thing is for you to go to the earth, take mortal birth, and through the mortal birth, raise this creation up. In his heart, it shines, rejected by his life. Because it is rejected, therefore, there was only the common light of the day. Immutable, bodiless, beautiful, grand, and dumb. Any more adjective? Yes, immobile. Also, immutable, bodiless, beautiful, grand, dumb, immobile. On its shining throne, it sits, that glory. Dumb, it receives his offering and his prayer. Yes, this is the prayer, it receives it. See, now you see here, shine, shine. Normally, in the common poetry, the occurrence of the same word so close to each other is taken as a blemish, as a flaw. But here, it doesn't appear to be so. In each place, it is the more just. In his heart, it shines. You cannot change the shine to any other word. There are a number of words in English which can replace shine, which can glow. In his heart, it glows, rejected. You see, glows will not do. It has to be shine. Immobile on a shining throne. Again, glowing throne will not do. It has to be shining throne. You see. It says dumb. Again here, you have got dumb here, you have got dumb here. So the normal rules of prosody are not really applicable to the poetry of Savitri. Each word has to be perfect in its own place. Dumb, it receives his offering and his prayer. It has no voice. What is dumb? He is elaborating no voice. It has no voice to answer to his call. No feet that move, no hands to take his gifts. Aerial statue of the nude idiom, so it stands like a statue. Virgin conception of a bodiless God. Its light stirs man, the thinker, to create an earthly semblance of diviner thing. Earthly semblance of diviner thing. An earthly semblance of diviner thing.
He's giving the description of Jagannath. Who is Jagannath idol?
Yeah. Now he is elaborating on this point. It is rejected his life. He is elaborating. He is not leaving that thing hanging. How? He is elaborating on that, you see. Because why it is rejected? Because he has no voice to answer his call. This is. All along it is it. It stands for glory. What is this he standing for? Man's heart. To inhabit a white temple in man's heart. Down in it receives his offering, man's prayer. It has no voice to answer to his call, man's call. No feet that move, no hand to take his gifts, you see. Aerial statue, you are offering his God, giving you present, but there is nobody to take his gifts, you see. Virgin conception of a bodiless God. My God. You see. Now this virgin conception, so he has read Christian theology also. I think he was in Rome for a long time.
What I told, this is the description of Puri Jagannath, Lord Jagannath's idol. See the statue there, statue of nude idea. The Jagannath, he doesn't have feet, he doesn't have hands.
Yeah. No, no hands. Means there is.
He had been to Puri Jagannath temple.
Virgin conception. Now, of course, this is a Roman Catholic phrase, virgin conception. No? It is a Roman Catholic phrase. So, I don't know.
Why is it bodiless?
Virgin conception of a bodiless God.
Why is it bodiless?
Yeah.
Let us understand why is it bodiless?
Now, actually, before we go to that, virgin conception, virgin conception itself, what is, we will say that, yeah, he has not taken body.
Because he is a God.
See?
God can take bodies.
He has not taken the physical body. That is God. Now, virgin conception. Now, I don't know exactly. See, of course, the Roman Catholic people say Virgin Mary. Virgin Mary. Now, there is a little confusion, at least in my mind, whether it is the virginity of Mary or it is the virginity of her mother.
Her mother?
Huh?
Why her mother?
Yeah, Mary was born from a virgin.
Mary was
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, I know.
How come?
Yeah. See, because she herself has to be pure, Mary, to give birth to Christ. She herself has to be pure to give immaculate conception. To give birth to Christ, she herself has to be pure. She has to be immaculate Mary. She can come only from an immaculate womb. So, whether that virgin conception is about Mary's mother or about Mary herself,
no, in this case, if you are right, she also had to give birth pure, because she is given God.
Yes,
So she must be, so both of them, they are pure.
yes,
In your opinion.
yes, yeah. Well, so that virgin conception is a very peculiar phrase, and at least I am not able to clear whether it refers to Mary herself or to her mother. She is going to give birth to Christ, therefore she has to be virgin. And anticipating that birth of Christ, her mother has given immaculate birth or virgin birth to Mary. That is one theological interpretation. But I believe that the whole idea of virgin conception itself is a misplaced notion. There is really nothing like virgin conception. The whole thing has to be through the physical process, through the process of nature. It has to be through the process of nature. When the avatar comes, he doesn't come here as a miracle. He undergoes through the entire process of nature in order to realize and experience all the issues involved in nature. It does not bypass them. So the very notion of virgin conception in that sense is a wrong notion.
Karna's in Mahabharata, the birth of Karna from Kunti, Karna's birth. Karna's
Birth?
it was not like from Karna, Prasada.
No. It is through the physical process, through the natural biological process, the birth has to take place. The avatar comes, he undergoes through that. He has to undergo that. We have got that line, no? That famous sentence which I have been always repeating. She condescended to pass through the birth, that is a death.
But they are talking of conception, not of birth.
Yeah, virgin conception, same thing.
No, conception and birth are two different.
Well, it amounts to that. Virgin conception amounts to that. Yeah. See, it is not virgin conception. You mean that by the occult thing, it has entered into the womb.
Why not?
It can, but then
There are some miracles.
it can. By the occult process, it can. But then again, you have not really gone through the entire process which is necessary of experiencing the natural things which happen here. If by occult you have taken birth, by occult it can be removed also. Then what is the gain? You have to undergo through the mortal process. The mother has said, we have read many times in the book of the divine, in the Madhurama Savitri.
This is 2000 years ago. They're not thinking of the mother then.
So it is not just an occult virgin conception. It has to be the physical process, the biological process. Unless he suffers, unless he experiences that, you cannot really solve. She has to condescend it to pass through the birth, that is a death. Mortal birth is required. There is nothing in that sense. Occult, yes, in a certain sense, when the divine goddess saw that things are not ready here for her feet, she went back. It means that her occult spiritual appearance here is not going to solve this problem. Savitri has to take the mortal birth. A world's desire compelled her mortal birth. 5.1. A worse desire compelled her mortal birth. It has to go through the process of mortal operations here, of nature here. But compelled her mortal birth, or as I said earlier, and Savitri to awoke among these tribes and rose to the brilliant Samanas chant. Now the Samanas chant, what does it say? She heard the call, the Samanas call. Savitri, you go now to the mortal world. You go now to the mortal world. That is the virgin conception. That is the virgin conception of Savitri. The rest is worked out by nature. But the command for Savitri to go to earth and take the mortal birth, that the decision, that seed is cast up there. The Samana tells Savitri, you have to go back, to go to earth, to the mortal world. That seed is cast there. That is the virgin conception. The rest has to be worked out through the mortal process. Then only the avatarhood acquires meaning, acquires significance, acquires purpose, acquires contents in the context of mortality. So this virgin conception has to be understood at that level. The Son of God was sent to redeem the sin of man. The Son of God was sent. That is the virgin conception. He didn't come of his own. Yes, we had to go. That is the virgin conception. The rest has to be through the biological, natural process, you see. So this virgin conception is totally misunderstood by the Christian theology in that sense.
So if you believe that mortal death must be first be as a mortal birth, no other way, what do you think of the death of Mary? Mary, she went with her body to the, that's what they say.
No, that Mariology has now deified her.
Sorry?
Mariology has deified Mary, has elevated her.
Yes.
But actually in the physical process, she has to give birth in a mortal manner.
Yeah, but I mean, she born as a mortal birth,
Yeah.
normal birth, but her death was open.
That
And
is,
why you don't
see,
accept
you see, we don't know the full story of that.
No, but
Her death, yeah, you see, well, that is possible. She can be taken back, you see. But the physical body has died. The physical body does not exist. Yes, she has to abandon and go away. Yeah. So even virgin conception and virgin dissolution, you see, it would mean that virgin dissolution. Okay, it's all right, possible. She has gone back to her source. Oh.
But I heard that not only the Mary, Virgin Mary, she has this kind of death. I heard about some other person on the humanity,
Yeah.
special, also they left with their body. You know, is it true? You know this or not?
No, I'm not getting exactly.
You understand? Can you? There are many others also. They have gone in the physical body to the.
Yes.
You see, you can withdraw yourself into the subtle body, and the subtle body is identified.
Like Mary went with the physical body, so like other persons also, there are many
Yeah.
persons they can
But see, here we are talking of the avatarhood has a meaning. The avatarhood has a meaning only when it undergoes to the natural process. That is important. Otherwise, avatar, Shivandu has to take the mortal birth in that manner in order to experience the entire process of mortality.
Yeah, but they are talking about Christ here. Not
About?
Jesus Christ is different. In the
Yeah, so, well, I mean, so you see, the Christian Mariology has elevated her to that point, which is a different thing altogether. And they have made various kind of representations of that thing. In one place, Mary is holding child Christ in her arms. And she is looking like this, the child is here. She is not looking at the child. She is looking elsewhere like that. The child is in her arms. She is not looking at the child, she is looking elsewhere. Now they say that the intention is, look, you don't have to look at me, you have to look at the world. So this symbolization, you see, it can go on in different manner and all that kind of a thing. Yeah. Yeah. But actually what happens is a physical process here.
I never felt really that this is very important. I never think about it if it was true or not. Why you are giving so importance to prove that it was wrong? Why?
I will not say right or wrong. See, these are representations.
But you cannot prove what you are saying.
We cannot prove also. Yeah. No, we of course we cannot prove. We are only going by the kind of understanding we get from the reading of Mother and Shivandu.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
So you understand this
Yeah.
from this sentence?
Yeah.
From this sentence,
Yes.
you understand that?
I don't have that experience, I don't have that realization, I don't have that occult knowledge power to really say anything. On the basis of my intuition, my understanding, my association with whatever I have read about Mother and Shivandu or from them, it is on that basis we are saying something. I wish I had that first knowledge, you see. Most of the Christian mystics, they have experiences, they are represented, but then they are not the complete story of the whole thing. It is a particular realization, particular experience which is represented in different manners. You see. Its light stirs man, the thinker, to create an earthly semblance of divine. So what does man do? What does mind do? He creates this semblance of diviner things. Beautiful things, artistic things, aesthetic things, lovely things, lofty things. They are the semblance of the powers of the Spirit. You cannot really agree. Its huge reflection falls upon man's acts. His institutions are a cenotaph. See how cruel it is. So ultimately what are these? These are shrines without the relics. They are memorials without any thing or the person in them present. That is cenotaph. A tomb without a relic. His institutions are its cenotaph. He signs his death conventions with its name. So he has really read thoroughly Christian theology. His virtues adorn the ideal sky robe and a nimbus or the outline of a space. So this nimbus, that is what you have got around Mary. You create a aura, halo around her, outline of a space. He hides their littleness with the divine name. So you call them divine name, but then ultimately what does it contain? Only the littleness. His virtues dawn the ideal. You see again, what beautiful line. He hides the littleness with the divine name. Metrically also very beautiful line. Every line here, see here for instance now, his virtues dawn the ideals, sky, Anapes. Again, and I am. His virtues dawn the I, means three I ams, then ideal sky and Anapes, and again I am. Yet insufficient the bright pretense. Yes, ultimately what is this? Only a pretense. And it is bound to be insufficient. To screen their indigent and earthy may, earth only is there and not some heavenly source. Only mortality is there. There is nothing of immortal in that. If heavens there are, they are veiled in their own light. He doesn't accept that there are heavens. But okay, you are saying that there are heavens, but then they are covered by your own light. If a truth eternal somewhere reigns unknown, it burns in a tremendous void of God. See, it is there, that is a void, because that is not expressing itself here. What is the use of the truth burning up there? See? It burns in a tremendous void of God. For truth shines far from the falsehoods of the. Now he is giving an argument. It burns in a tremendous void of God because truth cannot shine here in the falsehood, which is a very correct statement. He is making a correct statement, obviously. See. There is falsehood here, how can the truth live here? See? For truth shines far from the falsehoods of the world. How can the heavens come down to unhappy earth? This is what you are dreaming, my dear Savitri, little girl, this is what you are dreaming. How can the heavens come down to unhappy earth? They cannot. Or the eternal lodge in drifting time, in transience, in passing show. How can the eternal come and stay here? It has no permanent base at all. How shall the ideal tread earth's dolorous soil, where life is only a labor and a hope, a child of matter? So, what is life here? Life is only a child of matter. That is the materialist view. It is matter which has given rise to life. All these atoms, chemical things, they join in such a way, and here you are life. That is the materialist. He is now the materialist. A fire flaming low in nature's great, a journey's toilsome trudge with death for goal. So what is the journey for? The journey is death for goal. Ultimately, the goal of the journey is death. And you are talking of heaven coming here and all that. You don't understand things, my little girl. The avatars have lived and died in vain. Yeah. Died in vain. So that is the entire summary of the whole process of evolution.
The avatar is writing the avatar
Yeah, what has Shivandu done? You go and pray to Samadeva.
Previously also all the
Yeah, and you call him great avatar and all that. The avatars have lived and died in vain. Nothing has been achieved. Vain was the sages' thought, the prophets' voice. So the prophets have come, sages have come, munis, rishis, mistakes, they have come and done this, but all is vain.
Vain.
Yeah, vain. In vain is seen the shining upward way. If at all that shining upward way is there, the sunlit path, if at all is there, is vain. Where can you go? You cannot escape death. And as long as you cannot escape death, it means that you live in falsehood. You live in falsehood. So therefore it's all vain. As long as I am present, everything is vain. Even the coming of the avatars. Rama has come, Krishna has come, Buddha has come, Christ has come, Shivandu has come, in vain.
No, you can't say Shivandu has come in vain.
His whole point, focus. All right, avatar has come, but finally what? All the Dashavatars, the whole procession of avatar is there, Dashavatar is there, procession, all the 10, starting from Matsya. Yeah, very harsh, extremely harsh, very cruel. He is very cruel, very cruel. Now, the avatars have lived and died in vain. It is true. in the sense that, look, I am still here.
So far, yes. So far.
I am still here.
He is right.
His death is there, it's vain. So once he is gone.
Yeah. I am still there.
But
It's very true also.
It's only temporary.
So, the only thing that will not be vain is the coming of Savitri.
But he doesn't know yet.
All these avatars, they are vain.
He knows, but he is trying to.
Only Savitri. Now, you may call her avatar or not, that's a different matter. But that is the only thing which will not be vain. And she is standing there. See, he says here, no? Okay, let's move on. The avatars have lived and died in vain, vain. You see, again, see the poetry. Vain was the sage's thought, the prophet's voice. In vain is seen the shining upward way. Earth lies unchanged. It's all vain, therefore earth lies unchanged. You are talking of transformation. Where is transformation? Beneath the circling sun, the suns are moving around. Now here, according to him, it is the sun which is moving around the earth.
Here, Yama is short-sighted.
The sun is
Short-sighted.
He is beneath the circling sun. So he is a believer of geocentricity. Beneath the circling sun. She loves her fall and no omnipotence. She, earth, loves her fall and no omnipotence. Her mortal imperfections can erase, force on man's crooked ignorance, heaven's straight line, or colonize a world of death with God. You want that? Vain, vain, vain. O traveler in the chariot of the sun, O traveler, that is Savitri. She is the traveler in the chariot of the sun. She awoke to the brilliant Samanas chant, the sun. Who is the sun? Summer. the Son, the Supreme Himself. High Priestess in the holy fancy shrine, High Priestess, that is Savitri. Holy fancy shrine, holy shrine. He didn't say white shrine, it means white shrine. See. Holy you are living in a world of fancy. Who, with a magic ritual in Earth's house, magic ritual, you are doing all occult ceremonies because you are a high priestess. Worshippest ideal and eternal love. What is this love thy thought has deified? What is this love? You have made this love a god. What is this love? This sacred legend and immortal myth. This love is only a legend and a myth. This love is a legend and a myth. This love is not legend and a symbol that Savitri is. So he has avoided symbol and put myth there. To disconnect it from Savitri, the legend and the symbol.
Immortal myth, immortal.
Yeah, immortal myth is going on and on. It remains, persists. It doesn't die. It is a sacred legend. You perpetuate that thing. Continue. It is a conscious yearning of thy flesh. Again, he is going back to the same thing. It is a conscious yearning of thy flesh. It is a glow is burning of the nose, a rose of dreams splendor pedaling the mind, a great red rapture and torture of thy heart. So he is evoking the emotion, the vital, the passion part of it. It is a conscious yearning of the flesh. Your flesh is what wants love. Is this love? And that you are deifying, making a god of it. A great red rapture and torture of thy heart. Well, love is a torture. A sudden transfiguration of thy days. It passes and the world is as before.